Advanced Micro Devices AMD stock is up nearly 6% as I am recording today's episode. Today, what I want to do is take a closer look at all the information that AMD shared to investors and to the consumer world about its upcoming products. And I do believe there's a lot of excitement here for the consumer space. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode. All right, so we're going to start off with graphics cards. And graphics cards, in my opinion, have become a very important topic, especially when we think of things like gaming and AI workloads, especially as right now we are expecting a nice boost in the kind of PC market growth and PC shipments. So AMD unveiled the AMD Radeon RX 7600 XT graphics card, which they mention is an incredible gaming at 1080p and beyond for under $350. So it is pretty interesting how AMD is focusing a little bit different, where NVIDIA released kind of more higher tier products today in the $500, $700, and $1,000 price point. And AMD is kind of releasing something to the lower, to that lower tier entry in the gaming market. And we're going to see they actually also did that with some new CPUs that we'll discuss in a bit, but it seems like they're focusing a little bit more on the entry level right now. What I did find very important about this new graphics card is it actually comes with 16 gigs of high-speed memory. And you might be wondering, Jose, why is that important? And the main reason is right now, if you are doing some form of AI workloads, what's very important outside of your AI accelerators, it's also the amount of memory that comes per GPUs. And 16 gigs, for those that are not familiar, is a very high amount of memory compared to most memories out there. I do believe most are usually 8 and below. We're starting to now see 12, but there's very low amount of cards that usually have 16 or higher. For example, the 4080 from NVIDIA has 18, I believe. The 4090 has 24, but not many have higher than 16, only a selective few. So obviously this additional memory is going to be great for users that are using it for not just gaming, but next generation AI and content creation. And that's something that's happening a lot right now. What I did find funny to some extent is this is kind of helps understand and remember, NVIDIA is my number one position. AMD is my number two position in my overall portfolio. So I am bullish in both, but I obviously got to give props to NVIDIA in the GPU market. That's not a market where AMD completely dominates. And here we can see with this new graphics card that they just announced, they are comparing it to NVIDIA's RTX 2060. And that's a card that's, I want to say, almost 4 years old. So I don't like it when companies, and I do this to any company that does it, compares it to a way weaker product. But we are seeing that, hey, look, this is great for 1080p, and there's numerous servers out there that right now, large number of gamers play at 1080p. So obviously this new graphics card will be amazing for it, and is expected to start shipping on January 24th of 2024. So while it's not necessarily an amazing product to my belief, I do believe they're going to be able to grow in sales because of that 16 gig in memory. Is going to help push a lot of kind of maybe AI entry level users to go and buy it. And the other thing, it kind of just pushes us to see that, hey, look, the consumer market is definitely picking back up, and NVIDIA and AMD wants to definitely be in the forefront with some new products. Now, this is where I believe AMD dominates right now, and that is the CPU market. So AMD today on January 8th released their new CPU for the desktop market, the 8000G series. And this, in my opinion, is insane, and it's why it's beating Intel. So AMD is introducing the new AMD Ryzen 8000 series desktop processors for the AM5 platform, including the Ryzen 7 8700G, which has the world's most powerful built-in graphics. AMD is also bringing the power of a dedicated AI neural processing unit and NPU to desktop PC processors for the first time with the introduction of Ryzen AI. So AMD has been in the forefront of kind of, in my opinion, doing revolutionary things to the CPU market. They kind of started off with their 3D V-Cache technology in early Ryzen series, and those are amazing. They've also brought new solutions that we're going to talk about in a bit. But last year, they were the first to bring an AI engine to their laptop CPUs, and it started off with the 7040 series, and those laptops are selling right now. Now, Intel, just about a year later, finally released an AI NPU to the laptop market. AMD is now on their next refresh of this AI laptop for the GPU, but they are the first ones to bring that AI engine to the CPU for the desktop market. And I do believe that kind of showcases how AMD is still a nice way ahead here in the CPU market, and that actually gets me very, very excited. The other thing is AMD has their new platform, right? The AM5. Some people might be wondering, hey, Jose, what is the AM5 platform? So that's pretty much just it's the easiest way to say it's the size. So if you have a chip, and that chip has a special size. This is the AM5 chip, and it has the AM5 size. So the AM5 side focuses on AMD's new generation, which is the 7000 series and this newly released 8000 series. Now, the previous size was the AM4, and the AM4 was used from the Ryzen first generation to the Ryzen 5000 generation, which is also pretty amazing. But AMD does know that, hey, maybe right now is very hard times for consumers to maybe start their new platform to kind of get the new size chips, to get new components for it. Because if you have a new size, you need to get a lot of new things to kind of use that new chip. So what AMD is seeing is they're still seeing a nice amount of sales on their Ryzen 5000, which is the last chip from their AM4 platform. And so they're refreshing it, they're bringing new offerings to it. So again, they're continuing to support those that are not able to. So I do believe that bodes well again for their consumer play as they continue to dominate in both the laptop market, in my opinion, and the CPU desktop market. Now, in CES, AMD also kind of has numerous automotive solutions to some extent. They do have kind of their Verso AI Edge adaptive system on chips that are used for various solutions in the automotive market. And they also have the Ryzen embedded V2000A, which is a processor that's kind of used to power infotainment systems. So I do believe we're going to hear a lot about that in the upcoming days of CES. But to me, the biggest announcement AMD announced were those CPUs. And I do believe that could be outside of just the overall bullish trend in the market. AMD's growth in the CPU market is going to be one that, in my opinion, will continue to grab market share from Intel. And that's why AMD investors are pretty excited. Now, I just kind of want to take a closer look at some revenue estimates based on analyst averages. And we can see for AMD's revenue for the current fiscal year and for the next fiscal year. So it does seem like analysts are a little bit more excited for AMD. And I do believe this bodes well thanks to kind of their AI solutions, not only for the consumer side, but also the kind of data center side, thanks to the MI300 and the MI300X. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.